In the last 5 years, martial arts films have won Oscars, revived forgotten legends, and even broken Netflix records, defying every prediction that the genre was fading. Today we're ranking the top 10 martial arts movies of the 2020s, revealing how they reinvented the fight on screen. And wait until you hear which multiverse film redefined what martial arts cinema could even mean. Quick question. If you could step into the ring with any martial arts star of this decade, who would you want to face, and why? Drop your answer in the comments, and let's see which fighter truly owns the 2020s. Mortal Kombat. Few reboots carried as much pressure as Mortal Kombat. Fans wanted authenticity, newcomers needed spectacle, and the 2021 film tried to deliver both. Its violent fight choreography leaned into the franchise's DNA, giving us fatalities and bone-crunching duels that mainstream cinema rarely dares to show. While critics debated its uneven story, audiences appreciated its unapologetic brutality. It wasn't about Oscar-worthy drama, it was about satisfying a community that had waited nearly 25 years for a fresh take. That blend of loyalty and risk-taking kept the conversation alive long after release. Here's the truth. Martial arts cinema doesn't always need to be refined. Sometimes, raw spectacle creates the lasting memory. And in the case of Mortal Kombat, it reminded Hollywood that franchises live or die by embracing their core identity. Sometimes, spectacle is survival. Fist of the Condor. In an era dominated by blockbuster budgets, Fist of the Condor stripped martial arts cinema back to its essence. Chilean star Marco Zaror delivered a film that was lean, philosophical, and brutally focused on the purity of combat. No glossy effects, no massive sets, just raw human movement and the search for inner mastery. The film found international praise because it tapped into something universal. The idea that martial arts is not just about defeating opponents, but about confronting yourself. Zaror's dedication and intensity reminded viewers that authenticity still matters in a market crowded with spectacle. The takeaway here is simple yet profound. Martial arts thrives when spirit comes before showmanship. Fist of the Condor proved that minimalism can hit harder than excess. Martial arts is spirit first, spectacle second. One percenter. Imagine stepping into a film where the line between actor and fighter nearly vanishes. That's what Tak Sakaguchi delivered with One Percenter. Known for his no-nonsense approach to action, Sakaguchi played a fictionalized version of himself, a veteran action star questioning his place in the industry, only to unleash some of the most raw, intense fight choreography of the decade. What makes it stand out is its self-awareness. The movie isn't just about fists and kicks. It's a meditation on authenticity in martial arts cinema. For audiences, it's refreshing to see a film that acknowledges the sacrifices behind the art while still delivering explosive spectacle. The takeaway? The future of martial arts films won't just be about flashy moves, but about credibility. One Percenter proved that the closer cinema gets to reality, the sharper its impact. Reality fuels the real. The Swordsman. What happens when a warrior lays down his blade, only to be forced back into violence? The Swordsman explores that haunting question through the story of a retired swordsman searching for his kidnapped daughter. Instead of stylized fantasy, the film delivers brutal, close-quarters swordplay that feels raw and personal. The tension lies in the clash between fading strength and unshakable duty. For Korean cinema, it was a reminder that martial arts on screen can be more than entertainment. They can embody generational conflict and resilience. Audiences around the world connected with the idea that honor doesn't fade, even as the body weakens. If you ever feel past your prime, remember this: skill may diminish, but conviction doesn't. That's why The Swordsman resonates. It's less about perfect technique and more about the relentless fight for what matters most. Honor never ages. The Paper Tigers. Picture this. 3 former kung fu prodigies, now middle-aged dads with sore backs and 9-to-5 jobs, reunite when their old master is mysteriously killed. That's the charm of the Paper Tigers. Instead of glorifying invincible warriors, it celebrates imperfection, humor, and the struggle to stay true to values long after youth fades. The movie struck a nerve with audiences who saw themselves in these unlikely heroes. It reminded us that martial arts isn't just about high-flying kicks. It's about loyalty, humility, and growth. The fact that the fights are gritty, sometimes even clumsy, only adds to the authenticity. Here's the lesson. Life doesn't stop testing you when you get older. And, like these tigers, the way you respond defines who you really are. Discipline never expires. We've hit the halfway mark, so here's your challenge. Which of these 2020 martial arts movies do you think will still be legendary 20 years from now? Drop your pick in the comments. You might even convince someone to watch it tonight. And if you're loving this countdown, smash that like button. It helps the channel grow and reach even more martial arts fans. Looking for even more epic martial arts movies? Check out our top martial arts movies of all time playlist. Just click the on-screen card to continue your trip through the full collection following this video. Sakra. What happens when a living legend decides to rewrite the rules? With Sakra, Donnie Yen not only starred but also directed, taking on the iconic role of Chow Feng from Jin Yong's classic wuxia novel. Instead of recycling tropes, Yen fused old-school martial arts storytelling with cutting-edge cinematography, creating a film that felt both epic and intimate. The result was a blend of mythic themes, honor, betrayal, destiny, with choreography that showcased Yen's unique ability to mix precision and emotion. For audiences, it was proof that wuxia still has a place in modern cinema when handled with both reverence and reinvention. Here's the truth. Legends endure not because they repeat the past, but because they adapt. Donnie Yen reminded the world that even timeless heroes can evolve. Legends reinvent themselves. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now picture a Marvel superhero movie that suddenly transforms into a breathtaking wuxia ballet. That was Shang-Chi, the MCU's first Asian-led blockbuster, where stunning choreography met heartfelt storytelling. Fight scenes designed by veterans like Brad Allen and Andy Cheng blended elegance with intensity, from bus brawls to mythical duels. Its cultural impact was massive. For the first time, millions saw Asian heritage centered in a global superhero film, not as sidekick or stereotype, but as the beating heart of the story. It was more than entertainment. It was representation in motion. The lesson here: visibility matters. When martial arts are showcased on the world's biggest stage with respect and creativity, it changes how generations view themselves and their heroes. Representation is strength. Monkey Man. What if a revenge thriller could double as a cultural awakening? That's the promise of Monkey Man, Dev Patel's electrifying directorial debut. Set against the backdrop of modern India, the film blends gritty street fighting with echoes of mythology, weaving in themes of injustice, corruption, and resilience. The real breakthrough isn't just the choreography, though it's fast, brutal, and grounded. It's the voice behind the camera. Patel's passion project proved that martial arts cinema doesn't need to come from the usual power centers. With Netflix acquiring global rights, it became a platform for fresh perspectives that the genre desperately needs. Here's the takeaway. When new storytellers step into the ring, the fight expands beyond fists. Monkey Man showed us that martial arts cinema grows strongest at its edges. New storytellers expand horizons. Everything, everywhere, all at once. How does a quirky multiverse dramedy become one of the most celebrated martial arts films of the century? Everything, everywhere, all at once pulled off that miracle by turning fight scenes into metaphors for love, regret, and identity. From absurd weapon choices to dazzling choreography, every punch carried emotional weight. Its impact was historic. Sweeping the Academy Awards, it shattered the wall that once kept martial arts movies from serious recognition. For millions, it proved that Kung Fu isn't just about battles, it's about the human condition itself. The lesson is simple yet groundbreaking. Martial arts storytelling thrives when it dares to be universal. Everything Everywhere reminded the world that meaning and motion are inseparable. Martial arts is storytelling. Rurouni Kenshin, the final. Adaptations of beloved anime often stumble, but Rurouni Kenshin, the final, proved it could be done, and done spectacularly. This Japanese blockbuster elevated live-action samurai cinema with precise choreography, emotional stakes, and relentless pacing. Each clash of the blade wasn't just a fight, it was an extension of Kenshin's tortured past and hope for redemption. What's remarkable is how this film connected globally. Fans who grew up on the anime embraced its authenticity, while newcomers discovered a world where sword fights carried both beauty and brutality. It highlighted Japan's ability to blend cinematic craft with cultural storytelling, something Hollywood still struggles to replicate. The takeaway is clear. When tradition meets modern technique, the result can transcend borders. Rurouni Kenshin, the final, showed that even the most localized stories can inspire worldwide. Tradition scales new heights. From sword-wielding fathers to multiverse-jumping mothers, the 2020s proved that martial arts cinema is alive, evolving, and more diverse than ever. These films showed us that the genre isn't just about fists and blades. It's about culture, identity, reinvention, and meaning. Martial arts movies will always thrive when they dare to surprise us. Whether through indie minimalism, blockbuster spectacle, or emotional storytelling, the fight keeps finding new forms. If this list fired you up, stick around for more epic martial arts movie countdowns. And make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss it.